Imagine two people, they grew up in the same country, maybe even the same town. Let us say they went to similar schools, faced similar economic headwinds early in their careers, and started life with roughly the same opportunities or lack thereof. Fast forward to age 50, one of them is financially free. They wake up each day with options. They pursue passions that light them up. They contribute to causes they believe in. Perhaps they even enjoy a well earned early retirement or at least a career driven by choice, not necessity. Their days are marked by a calm sense of control. There is a spaciousness in their finances that allows for both stability and adventure. The other person, by age 50, they are still trapped in the grueling, relentless paycheck to paycheck cycle. The alarm clock is a constant dread. The daily grind is an inescapable reality. Every unexpected bill sends a ripple of panic through their budget. Every dream is deferred for some day, which perpetually remains out of reach. Their financial life feels less like a journey and more like a never ending sprint on a treadmill. They are running hard, but always seeming to stay in the same place. Now, pause for a moment and really think about that chasm. This is not a minor difference. It is a profound, life altering divergence. What fundamental, often invisible force creates this massive gap between two individuals who started on such similar footing? Is it some secret inheritance that came out of nowhere? Was one simply born under a luckier star? Were they touched by a magical Midas wand? Did one discover a hidden investment formula whispered only to a select few? The answer, surprisingly, is none of the above. It is far less dramatic, far more mundane, and yet infinitely more powerful. It is the cumulative, often imperceptible force of small, deliberate decisions made every single day. It is not a single grand stroke of genius or a sudden windfall. It is the micro choices, the almost unconscious habits, the persistent leanings towards one path versus another. These choices, over decades, architect entirely different financial realities. This is not about complex algorithms or insider trading tips. It is about the everyday mental calculus that shapes our present and meticulously builds our future. We live in an era that seems to delight in throwing curveballs at our financial well being. Turn on any news channel, scroll through any feed, you are bombarded with stories of economic uncertainty. Inflation is a constant, unwelcome guest at the dinner table. It erodes purchasing power with a stealthy, persistent hunger. The job market is a constantly evolving beast. It demands new skills, threatens old ones, and leaves many feeling perpetually insecure. It is undeniably easy in this maelstrom of external forces to feel like our financial destiny is entirely dictated by things far beyond our control. We tell ourselves that the system is rigged. We say that government policies favor the few, that market swings are arbitrary, or that a global pandemic can just sweep in and obliterate years of hard work. And to be fair, these external factors are real. They play a role, certainly. They can influence the speed of our journey, the incline of the path, or the occasional detour we have to take. But here's the critical insight: fixating solely on these large external forces, while understandable, actually overshadows the profound, almost revolutionary impact of individual agency. It distracts us from the one sphere where we truly possess immense power, our own choices and actions. When we point fingers at everything outside ourselves, we inadvertently disempower ourselves. We surrender control over the very things that, in the long run, make the most significant difference. It is like blaming the ocean for not reaching your destination when you have not bothered to learn how to sail. Many people genuinely believe that wealth or the lack thereof is primarily a consequence of macroeconomics, political landscapes, or sheer dumb luck. They see the financially successful and assume a hidden advantage, a birthright, or some inherent talent they do not possess. While a privileged start can certainly grease the wheels and an economic boom can offer tailwinds, it often distracts from a deeper, more universal truth. Sustained financial success, the kind that creates genuine freedom and optionality, is less about external circumstances. It is far more about internal architecture. It is built through a consistent, deliberate pattern of mindset and action. This is not a lecture on simply working harder or some naive declaration that anyone can be a billionaire. This video will dive much deeper than that. We will dissect the critical yet often overlooked differences in mindset and action. These differences separate those who consistently build enduring wealth from those who, despite their best efforts, remain stagnant. We will pull back the curtain on how personal choices, not just the unpredictable tides of the global economy, are the true, painstaking architects of financial outcomes. We will explore the often invisible threads that, when woven together over time, create either a strong, resilient financial tapestry or a frayed, perpetually patched up existence. Prepare to understand why your daily decisions are not just shaping your day, but meticulously crafting your entire financial future. It happens one small, powerful choice at a time. So let us pull back the curtain on these mechanisms. These are the daily differences in mindset and action that, over time, construct vastly different financial realities. The first and perhaps most fundamental mechanism is the compounding effect of micro decisions. This applies specifically to the constant negotiation between delayed gratification and instant gratification. Imagine those two individuals again. Our first person, let us call them Alex, has $100. Instead of seeing it as immediate spending money, Alex considers an investment. This might be purchasing a comprehensive financial literacy course that costs $99 or buying shares in a low-cost S&P 500 exchange traded fund. The second person, let us call them Ben, also has $100. Ben sees it as an opportunity for immediate pleasure. Perhaps it is a night out with friends, or buying a new gadget that has caught their eye, or a new outfit. In that moment, for Alex, the choice might feel like a sacrifice. There is no immediate dopamine hit, no shiny new item to show off, no instant social connection from a night out. It is a quiet, often invisible choice. The returns are not immediate or tangible in the same way. But here's the crucial difference: Alex is investing in invisible returns. The financial literacy course might teach Alex about budgeting, debt management, investment strategies, or how to identify opportunities. This new knowledge is not a physical asset. Instead, it is intellectual capital that will inform countless future decisions. It can potentially save thousands, even tens of thousands, and perhaps generate substantial wealth over a lifetime. The S&P 500 ETF, while also an invisible asset in the short term, is a claim on the growth of the world S&P 500 largest companies. It grows steadily, reinvests dividends, and is often protected from inflation. Ben, on the other hand, experiences instant gratification. That new gadget provides a temporary thrill. The night out creates immediate memories and social connection. But a week later, the gadget is just another item. It is perhaps already depreciating. The memories of the night out fade. They leave no lasting financial value. The money is gone, exchanged for a transient experience or a depreciating consumer good. This is not to say one should never enjoy life or spend money on experiences. Far from it. The distinction lies in the priority and the balance. The financially independent prioritize future freedom over immediate comfort. They understand almost instinctively that present sacrifices, small as they may seem, are the keys that unlock a lifetime of choice and optionality. They grasp the concept of compound interest, not just in financial terms, but in how it applies to skills, knowledge, relationships, and even discipline. Every dollar saved and invested, every hour spent learning, every habit cultivated for long term gain accrues invisible interest. Over years, this invisible interest does not just add up, it multiplies exponentially. Think of it like planting a tree. Ben buys a bouquet of cut flowers for $100. They are beautiful, fragrant, and provide immediate pleasure, but they wither and are gone in a week. Alex buys a sapling for $100. It requires care, watering, and patience. For months, perhaps years, it looks insignificant. But eventually, it grows into a mighty tree. It provides shade, fruit, and increases in value year after year, potentially outliving Alex. The financially independent understand they are in the business of planting trees, not buying cut flowers. They embrace the discomfort of deferred gratification because they have a clear vision of the forest it will eventually become. This one micro decision, repeated daily, weekly, monthly for decades, is the bedrock upon which the vast financial chasm is built. It is the difference between consuming your seeds today and planting them for a harvest tomorrow. The second critical mechanism contributing to this financial divide is information asymmetry. This is fostered by the non negotiable habit of continuous learning. Consider this startling data point. Highly successful chief executive officers and high net worth individuals often read 50 or more nonfiction books annually. Their reading focuses overwhelmingly on finance, business, history, biographies of successful individuals, and self improvement. Now, contrast that with the average person. They read perhaps 1 to 2 books a year. Often these are fiction, intended for entertainment rather than enlightenment. This is not about bragging rights or being a literary snob. This is about knowledge as leverage. Position books, and indeed all forms of structured learning, as the most cost effective, high return investment available. For a modest sum, say $20, you can literally download decades of accumulated wisdom, strategies, and insights from sharp minds. Think about it. An author spends years researching, experimenting, failing, succeeding. Then they condense that hard won experience into 300 pages. You can absorb that condensed wisdom in a few hours. This is not just theory. These are often battle tested blueprints for success that, if applied, can yield significant financial returns or save countless hours by avoiding common pitfalls. For example, a book on effective negotiation techniques might cost $20. Applying those techniques in a single salary negotiation could result in a significant raise, perhaps thousands of dollars. A book on real estate investing might cost the same. Understanding its principles could lead to a property investment that generates substantial equity and rental income. This is an exponential return on a minimal investment. The financially independent understand that ignorance is not bliss, it is incredibly expensive. They see continuous learning not as a chore, but as an essential, ongoing strategic advantage. Furthermore, financial literacy is not a one time acquisition. It is not like getting a degree and being done with it. The financial landscape is a constantly shifting terrain. Markets evolve, technologies emerge, regulations change, and new investment opportunities present themselves. Those who commit to continuous learning are better equipped to adapt to these changes. They can identify emerging opportunities and pivot their strategies when necessary. They understand the nuances of compound interest, the risks of various assets, the power of diversification, and the psychology of market cycles. This deep, evolving understanding allows them to make informed decisions. Meanwhile, others are simply reacting to headlines or relying on outdated advice. They are playing chess while others are playing checkers because they have meticulously studied the game. The third mechanism revolves around leveraging strengths. This is the conscious decision to build an unfair advantage. Society often pushes us towards being well rounded. In school, we are told to get good grades in every subject, to fix our weaknesses. If you are not good at math, remedial classes are prescribed. If your writing is weak, you are tutored. While there is value in a baseline level of competence across various areas, the financially independent and successful often diverge sharply from this path when it comes to long term specialization. Instead of dedicating significant time and energy to shoring up their weaknesses, truly successful individuals identify their innate talents. They find their passions, the areas where they naturally excel with less effort than others, and where they derive genuine satisfaction. They then invest disproportionately in amplifying these strengths. They hone them into a specialized niche or what they call an unfair advantage. This is not about ignoring weaknesses entirely. It is about recognizing that true excellence and market dominance come from becoming exceptionally good at a few things rather than mediocre at many. Consider an individual who is a natural problem solver. They have an intuitive grasp of complex systems. Instead of forcing themselves to become a passable public speaker, they might immerse themselves in advanced engineering, coding, or data science. They invest in specialized courses, mentors, and projects that push the boundaries of their innate problem solving abilities. Over time, they become an invaluable asset. They become a go to expert in their field. They are capable of solving problems others cannot even comprehend. This specialization creates a unique value proposition that is difficult to replicate. It allows them to command higher compensation, innovate new solutions, and ultimately build wealth through the exceptional value they provide. It is also why you should be discerning about where you seek financial counsel. You would not ask a broke person for investment advice. You would not ask someone perpetually out of shape for fitness advice. Yet, many people take financial advice from friends, family, or social media personalities. These individuals have not achieved the very outcomes they aspire to. The financially independent understand the importance of seeking guidance from those who have demonstrably succeeded in the areas they wish to grow. This approach is not about arrogance. It is about strategic allocation of attention and resources. Your focus should be on cultivating your personal competitive edge, your unique zone of genius. Do not chase conventional paths or try to emulate everyone else. What is that one thing you do better than most people, with less effort and with more joy? Invest there. That is your unfair advantage. The fourth mechanism is a powerful combination of self reliance and precision. It is rejecting external saviors and embracing quantifiable goals. Many people navigate their financial lives with a passive hope. They constantly look to external forces to solve their money woes. They wait for a political party to implement a favorable policy. They wait for the government to provide a bailout. They wait for a new market trend to magically make them rich or for a lucky break to fall into their laps. They are consumers of outcomes, hoping to receive rather than designers of their own destiny, actively creating. The financially independent understand that this passive stance is a trap. While external factors undeniably influence the economic landscape, the foundational truth is that personal responsibility is paramount. Your financial future, your wealth creation, your freedom is primarily your responsibility. Waiting for a political party or policy to fix your finances relegates you to being a consumer of outcomes, not a designer of your own destiny. This is not a harsh judgment, it is a call to empowerment. It means taking ownership. It means accepting that while you cannot control everything, you can control your responses, your actions, and your decisions. This self reliance is coupled with an unwavering commitment to precision and goal setting. While most people vaguely want to be rich or want more money, the financially independent define precise, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound, or SMART, financial goals. The difference is stark. I want to be rich is a wish. I will achieve $100,000 in an S&P 500 ETF within 5 years, which might necessitate a monthly investment of roughly $1,400. What immediate actions can I take? That is a blueprint. This SMART goal is specific. $100,000 in an S&P 500 ETF. It is measurable. You know exactly when you hit $100,000. It is achievable. $1,400 a month is a significant but not impossible amount for many, especially if strategically planned for. It is relevant. It aligns with the desire for wealth building. And it is time bound 5 years. Crucially, the final part of that goal, what immediate actions can I take, transforms it from a distant dream into an actionable plan. This might involve optimizing the budget, seeking a raise, starting a side hustle, or reducing discretionary spending. This precision removes ambiguity. It creates a clear roadmap. It provides a powerful psychological impetus to act. It turns an abstract desire into a concrete, executable project. You cannot hit a target you cannot see, and the financially independent paint their targets with meticulous detail. Finally, we arrive at perhaps the most significant mechanism, the power of leverage. This is fundamentally about making money work for you rather than endlessly trading your time for money. The vast majority of people operate within a linear financial model. They exchange their time and effort for a paycheck. There are only 24 hours in a day, and a finite number of those hours can be sold. This model places a hard ceiling on income and wealth accumulation. It makes true financial freedom incredibly difficult to achieve. You are constantly engaged in an active transaction, and when you stop, the income stops. True wealth, the kind that creates lasting optionality and generational impact, is not generated by this linear exchange. It is generated by building systems where capital, content, or other assets generate income. This often happens without your constant active involvement. This is the essence of leverage. There are several forms of leverage. The most common is financial leverage. This involves investing in assets like stocks, bonds, or real estate. Instead of spending your money, you use it to acquire assets that either appreciate in value, generate regular income through dividends or rent, or both. Your money starts working for you, earning returns. You can then reinvest these returns to earn even more returns. This is where the magic of compound interest truly shines. Each dollar you invest becomes a tiny employee, working tirelessly around the clock, earning more dollars. Then there is operational leverage, particularly prevalent in scalable businesses. This means building systems, products, or services that can serve many customers with minimal additional cost for each new customer. Think of software, digital products, or online courses. You create the core product once, then you can sell it thousands, even millions of times without having to recreate your effort for each sale. Your initial time and effort are leveraged across a massive audience. They generate income that vastly outstrips the linear exchange of hours for dollars. Finally, there is knowledge or content leverage. This encompasses intellectual property like books, patents, music, or online content. These generate royalties or passive income long after the initial creation. A book once written can continue to sell for years. It earns the author money without requiring more of their active time. A successful YouTube video can generate advertising revenue for years. This is about packaging your expertise and insights in a way that can be consumed by many repeatedly. This generates income from a single act of creation. The core distinction between the working class and the financially independent boils down to how they view and use money. The working class earns money to buy consumables, new cars, fashionable clothes, the latest gadgets, dining out. These items often depreciate, provide temporary satisfaction, and do not generate further income. The money flows out of their financial ecosystem. The financially independent conversely earn money primarily to buy assets, stocks, real estate, businesses, intellectual property. These assets then generate more income, which they can use to buy those consumables if they choose. More typically, they acquire more assets. The money flows into their financial ecosystem and multiplies. The critical strategy here, especially in the early stages of wealth building, is reinvestment. Instead of immediately spending the income generated by assets, the financially independent consistently reinvest it back into acquiring more assets. This accelerates the compounding process dramatically. It creates a snowball effect. For couples, a particularly powerful strategy is to dedicate one partner's entire income solely to asset building. This means one income covers all living expenses, while the other is aggressively channeled into investments. This commitment dramatically shortens the timeline to financial independence. It allows the couple to reach a point where their assets generate enough income to cover all their living expenses. This effectively achieves true financial freedom. At that point, they are no longer dependent on active labor to survive. Their money has truly begun to work for them. So, what happens when these daily, seemingly insignificant differences in mindset and action are compounded, not just for a few weeks or months, but for decades? This is where the true power and indeed the true tragedy of these micro decisions becomes glaringly apparent. The impact is not linear, it is exponential. It relentlessly creates a dramatic divergence in life quality by middle age and certainly by retirement. Imagine those two individuals we spoke of at the beginning. One embraced delayed gratification, they invested in continuous learning. They sharpened their unique strengths. They took radical personal responsibility. They set precise financial goals. They understood how to leverage capital and assets. The other consistently chose instant gratification. They neglected continuous learning. They passively hoped for external solutions. They remained locked in the trap of trading time for money. By age 50 or 60, their financial realities, and by extension, their entire lives, will be poles apart. Let us envision two distinct future paths. The first path is one of exponential financial growth and optionality. This individual's assets have grown, not just linearly, but through the power of compounding. Their early investments, no matter how small, have now blossomed into substantial capital. Their continuous learning has allowed them to adapt to market shifts, identify new opportunities, and make informed decisions. This protects their wealth while others falter. Their leveraged strengths have positioned them as a valuable expert. They are capable of generating income far beyond the confines of a traditional hourly wage. They have achieved financial independence. This means their assets generate enough passive income to cover their living expenses. This is not about being a billionaire, but about having true freedom. They can choose to work not because they have to, but because they want to. They can pursue passions, spend ample time with family, travel, learn new skills, or contribute to causes they believe in. Their future is defined by an abundance of choices, a sense of control, and a pervasive calm. They know that unexpected challenges can be met without derailing their entire financial well being. This person has designed a life where they are the master of their time and resources. Now, consider the second path, one of linear stagnation, perpetual financial anxiety, and severely limited choices. This individual, despite likely working hard, has seen their income consumed by immediate desires and the rising cost of living. They are stuck in a cycle where every paycheck is already allocated to bills. This leaves little to no surplus for investment or asset building. Their lack of continuous financial education leaves them vulnerable to economic misinformation. They are unable to spot or seize genuine opportunities. They may still be reliant on a single job, often one they do not enjoy, for their entire financial survival. This makes them susceptible to layoffs, economic downturns, or health crises. The stress of constant financial precarity permeates every aspect of their life. It impacts relationships, health, and overall well being. Dreams of retirement or pursuing passions remain just that, dreams perpetually deferred. This is because the immediate demands of survival overshadow all else. Their future is not one of options, but of obligations and constraints. External circumstances dictate their every move. It is crucial to understand that this dramatic divide is not arbitrary. It is not some random lottery where one person gets lucky and the other does not. While external factors can certainly influence the speed and ease of the journey, this chasm is a predictable outcome. It is a direct and logical consequence of consistent choices made over time. The daily decisions, the small habits, the underlying philosophies that seemed inconsequential in the moment have meticulously constructed these entirely different realities. The trajectory of a life financially speaking, is largely determined by the accumulation of these seemingly tiny, often invisible, deliberate choices. For those who actively embrace the principles we have discussed, the future yields what we can call the freedom dividend. This dividend is far richer than mere monetary accumulation. It is the profound sense of autonomy that comes with financial independence. It is the ability to wake up each day and consciously align your work with your deepest passions. It is engaging in meaningful endeavors because you choose to, not because you must. It is having sufficient time, a non renewable resource, to dedicate to your family, to personal growth, to hobbies, and to the cultivation of a rich, fulfilling life beyond the confines of work. Moreover, it bestows the power to influence your community and beyond. It empowers you to support causes, to start initiatives, and to create positive change. All this happens free from the constraints of personal financial worry. The freedom dividend is not simply about having money, it is about achieving true optionality. It is about having command over your life's narrative. It is about wielding the power to write your own story rather than having it written for you by economic necessity. Conversely, ignoring these fundamental lessons perpetuates a cycle of scarcity. This path often leads to chronic financial stress. There is a gnawing anxiety about the future and an incessant dependence on a single income source. This makes one incredibly vulnerable. Should that source falter due to illness, economic downturns, or job loss, the entire financial edifice can crumble. Opportunities become restricted not by lack of talent or ambition, but by the relentless pressures of immediate financial demands. This path often leads to a constant feeling of running in place. It is a perpetual engagement in the rat race. Despite effort, true progress towards financial security remains elusive. The insidious nature of this cycle is that it often traps individuals in a mindset of reaction rather than proaction. This makes it ever harder to implement the very strategies that could lead to freedom. It is a future defined by limitation. Dreams often remain just that, forever out of reach. So, where does this leave us? We have delved into the profound mechanisms that create this financial divide. These are the often unseen power of delayed gratification over instant pleasure. It is the non negotiable habit of continuous learning that leverages knowledge for exponential returns. It is the strategic decision to amplify unique strengths rather than just fix weaknesses. It is the empowering shift towards self reliance and precise goal setting. And it is the transformative understanding of how to make money work for you through various forms of leverage. These are not abstract theories. They are actionable principles. They are daily choices that, when consistently applied, architect your financial destiny. Your financial future is not some predetermined fate handed down by external forces. It is not an outcome of pure luck or an accident of birth. While circumstances certainly play a role, your financial future is, in fact, meticulously constructed brick by brick. It is built through the conscious, daily decisions you make. Every dollar you spend or invest, every hour you dedicate to learning or entertainment, every financial choice, no matter how small, is a vote for the future you will inhabit. The most opportune time to start building enduring wealth, to plant those financial trees, to invest in your future freedom was undoubtedly yesterday. The second best and equally powerful time is right now, in this very moment. It is in the present that you hold the power to change your trajectory. Choose delayed gratification over instant pleasure. Choose knowledge over ignorance. Choose investment over consumption. Choose intentional action over passive hope. So choose wisely. Choose to be the architect of your own destiny starting today.